Hi everyone, my name is Christina Ruzzi and I am honored to serve on IDignity's board of directors. I also have the privilege of welcoming you to IDignity's 2022 Souper Douper Fundraiser. Whether you've been a longtime friend of IDignity or this is your first time learning about the mission, thank you for joining us. We appreciate the opportunity to share with you the impact of IDignity on the clients we serve and our community. This success is only possible through the collective efforts of individuals just like you. So while I get to enjoy a little bit of soup here, I'm going to let Michael and Ann tell you a story.
Back in 2008, a small yet dedicated group of people representing 5 downtown Orlando churches united to try to address the unmet need in our community of assisting U.S. citizens and legal residents that are unable to legally prove who they are and hence unable to participate in our society. After 6 months of planning, IDignity was born. What we could never have imagined is how many people were in need of such a service, nor how complex some cases would become. Now here we are, 15 years later, having assisted over 26,000 of our neighbors in obtaining their legal identification documents. This includes Florida ID cards, our driver's license, Social Security cards, and birth certificates from every state and territory in America, as well as all the background documents that are required to be eligible for these primary forms of identification. Our mission simply would not be possible without the ongoing generosity of IDignity's donors, volunteers, and partners.
It's incredible to think about the thousands of lives that have been impacted over the years. Yet we know that there are so many others that are still in need of IDignity's unique services. In fact, it's estimated that there are more than 117,000 adults in Orange County that do not currently possess valid government-issued photo identification. Well, everyone needs access to their identification documents. We know that 89% of the clients that seek assistance from IDignity are living below the poverty line, and that 76% are unemployed, which makes sense as you are not able to legally obtain employment without an ID. Surprisingly, only 56% of IDignity's clients are currently homeless. Yet, unfortunately, our experience suggests that most of our clients will become homeless if they are unable to secure their legal identification documents. Imagine not having the documentation to simply prove who you are. For many of our clients, this hurdle prevents them from pursuing an education, getting a job, accessing proper health care, obtaining housing, or accessing so many other opportunities.
You might be wondering, how can someone lose their ability to obtain their legal identification documents? While the barriers are varied and numerous, they are all essential to protecting the integrity of identification. One of the most typical scenarios is a necessary catch-22, where you need your birth certificate to get an ID, and yet you can't obtain your birth certificate without your ID. If you have neither, then you are stuck. And what you now need is an advocate and possibly an attorney. IDignity provides both at no cost to our clients. Access to legal identification is a systemic and foundational issue. Yet ultimately, IDignity is all about empowering individuals to better their own lives, and that is exactly what our clients do. After concluding a 2-year identification impact study, we now know that within 3 months of getting an ID, 55% of our clients have improved their housing status, 38% secured employment, 33% obtained a primary care doctor, and 29% obtain disability benefits. Although there are many benefits to possessing identification, I want to highlight the one regarding access to employment. The Identification Impact Study quantified the financial benefit of IDignity's services. For example, on average, 76% of IDignity's clients are unemployed when they come to IDignity for assistance. Remarkably, 38% of these individuals secured a job within 3 months of getting their ID. Over the course of a year, this equates to 422 full-time employed clients. One client working full-time at minimum wage is able to earn $20,800 per year. The income generated by these 422 clients equates to more than $8 million of earned income in a year. The possession of legal identification not only empowers individuals to better their own lives, it also cultivates a society that is more inclusive, productive, and secure for us all. The impact of IDignity is best expressed through the lives of our clients, such as my friend Edward.
What is your name?
My name is Edward Padilla.
And Edward, where were you born?
I was born in New York State Psychiatric Hospital.
And why were you born there?
My mother had set herself on fire because she found out that my father was living another life with another 3 kids on another woman.
And how long did you live there?
For the first 5 years of my life. Fast forward 30 years, I'm now working in construction in Florida, and I was doing good. In 2008, the market crashed and I lost my job, and I was homeless at the time, and my ID had expired. And at that point, they were giving the new IDs with the stars on them, and I couldn't get an ID because I didn't have no birth certificate. I tried to order my own birth certificate by writing to New York and trying to order my birth certificate, but they said that I couldn't get it because the information that I was giving them wasn't the correct information. It felt so hopeless, so lonely, so useless. It's like being at your peak of performance and having your hands tied, you know? It's like you know you could do a whole lot more and a whole lot better, but you can't get ahead because you got something that's obstructing you, keeping you, hindering you, and which is the ID. So at that point I was helpless. I didn't know where to turn. There was like all the doors were closing, the walls were closing in on me. I didn't have no outlet to go to, and they told me about IDignity, and I said, let me take the shot in the dark and go see if they could help me out. When I first went to IDignity, I was like a little skeptical. I was working with this one lady, and she was helping me out, and she took all my information down. She told me that they would get my birth certificate, driver's license, Social Security, everything. I was like, okay, my hair stand up. They standing up now. The birth certificate was so hard to obtain because my father wasn't present at the time of birth, and my mother wasn't mentally stable to give any information out, so the doctor took it upon himself to sign the birth certificate where my father's name was supposed to be. And that made it real difficult for me to try to obtain it because I didn't know who the doctor was. He was no longer alive, and the mental facility was no longer active or in existence, and they had transferred my records to another hospital. So IDignity had to go through a whole bunch of, obstacles to get my birth certificate and to correct it and to get my birth certificate in my hands the way it's supposed to be. But I didn't lose hope because they were giving me hope. They were telling me, yo, don't worry about it. We got you. We ain't gonna give up on this. It's coming. So I went over there and finally they called my name. They said, here. They gave me a big envelope, and I was like, okay. And then they sent me to DMV to go get my ID. And I was like, whoa, let's get it. It was like, man, you don't know the feeling. Like, if I was to ever identify what it feels like to hit the lotto, that day I hit the lotto. After I got my ID, a world of opportunity opened for me. I was able to go to my doctors, get my medication, and open my Social Security case. And in the same token, I was able to see my kids and see my daughter that I haven't seen in like forever. One of the best things that ever happened to me after I got my ID, I met my wife, the love of my life, And we've been happy ever since, and we got married and everything, and I love her. She's my best friend. She's everything to me. I want to take this opportunity to thank those people that are making it possible for IDignity to make this possible for us. I want to be a living testament of the difference that they're making from where I was homeless to where I am now. This wouldn't be possible without the contributions that y'all give to IDignity. You help IDignity help us, and we make a difference in our own lives. I believe that donating to IDignity is important because it empowers people to do for themselves. It gives them an opportunity and a platform to contribute to society, and I believe it's the right thing to do. My name is Souper Douper, and now I can prove it.
Wow, what an incredible story. And that is just one of thousands like it, where IDignity was able to assist someone through one of the most difficult obstacles of their life. It's important to mention that while IDignity's services come at no cost to the people we serve, this mission depends on financial support from heartfelt neighbors in our community, just like you. We are grateful for each of you that have already been part of our mission and encourage those that are not yet involved to join us. For $400 and 6 hours of volunteer time, IDignity can assist one client in obtaining all of their necessary identification documents. Can you imagine? $400 to have your name and life restored. $400 to change the trajectory of someone's life right here in our hometown. $400 to positively affect future generations. I can't think of a more important and powerful legacy. As you prepare to take out your phone or open your laptop, please dig deep into your heart and ask what kind of impact you want to have on your neighbors, on your community. Now please scan the QR code on the screen or go to the link below and follow the steps to make a donation. If you're at a hosted party, you'll want to click on the link that your superhost sent to you. On behalf of the lives you will change, thank you for your compassionate generosity. And with that, we come to the end of this year's Souper Douper. We are so grateful for you joining us, and for those of you who have already given to IDignity's mission. As Edward might know better than anyone, everything begins with identification. IDignity is the resource for U.S. citizens and legal residents to obtain legal proof of their identity and begin again. And this mission doesn't happen without the support of our community. So thank you again for joining us in this effort. On that note, I also want to take a moment to express our appreciation to the sponsors that made this event possible: the City of Orlando, Advent Health, and ABC Fine Wines and Spirits. Our name is the very first gift given to us in this world. Can you imagine not being able to prove yours? I can't. From the bottom of our hearts and our souples, thank you and God bless.